16-year-old LaTania Carwell was last seen leaving her home in Augusta with her stepfather, Leon Tripp.
In April 2017, a call reached emergency services late at night from Augusta, Georgia. A mother reported that her teenage daughter had not returned home and had been missing since the previous evening. The community listened as concern grew, hoping the girl would be found safe. Shortly after, the mother took to Facebook, sharing messages of worry and urging others to assist in the search. Her posts gained attention, and many offered support or shared her appeals in hopes of helping bring the teen home. However, as the days passed, the investigation began to uncover a far more unsettling truth. The woman who appeared emotionally shaken and pleading for answers was hiding something. Authorities would eventually learn that the daughter everyone hoped to bring home was no longer out there to be found, and that her own mother was not just part of the story, but at the center of it. This is the untold story of LaTania Janell Carwell. LaTania Janell Carwell, who was affectionately known as Janell by her family, friends, and community, was born on April 17, 2001, in Palestine, Texas. She grew up in Augusta, Georgia, where she was surrounded by loved ones. From an early age, Janell showed remarkable intelligence and had clear ambitions for her future, hoping to study either law or medicine after high school. One of her pastors recalled Janell as a kind and exceptionally bright young woman with dreams of becoming a doctor, as well as being an honor student. Her uncle described her as someone who was not only well-spoken, but also skilled in everyday tasks like cooking and cleaning, and always presented herself with care. At the time of her disappearance, she was a sophomore at T.W. Josie High School in Augusta, Georgia. On Thursday, April 13, 2017, Janell attended school for the last time before the Easter holiday. She was excited about her upcoming 16th birthday on Monday and had been making plans to celebrate with her family, who were preparing for a large cookout in her honor. Janell told her language arts teacher, Lori Miles, and several classmates that her family was planning to move away from Augusta soon. A close friend, who was also well-liked by Janell's teachers, recalled how Janell expressed excitement about her upcoming birthday celebration, but also quietly shared that there were other important changes happening in her life beyond just the party. Her teacher, Lori Miles, observed a noticeable change in Janell's demeanor in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. She described how Janell slowly moved from sitting near the front of the classroom to a seat all the way in the back, which was unusual for her outgoing nature. A few days before she went missing, Lori gently encouraged Janell to return to her usual spot, telling her that this quieter, more withdrawn behavior didn't reflect the confident and bright young woman she knew.
When children face difficult circumstances at home, their behavior at school often reflects these struggles. Rudolf Dreikurs, a respected psychiatrist and educator, identified 4 main reasons why children might misbehave. The first reason is to gain attention. When children do not receive enough positive attention from their caregivers, they may seek recognition through negative behavior instead. If a child learns that acting out brings any kind of attention, they may repeat those actions to feel noticed. It is possible that Janell felt overlooked or emotionally distant from her family, which might have influenced her actions at school. Another reason children misbehave is to assert power. When young people feel they lack control or influence in a difficult home environment, they may try to regain some sense of authority in school. Janell's changes in attitude and behavior could have been a way for her to take back control in an environment where she otherwise felt powerless or unheard. A third reason is to express feelings of revenge. Children who experience unfair treatment or emotional pain may act out as a way to cope or respond to those feelings. Perhaps Janell's struggles at home caused her to act out in school, using her behavior to process or communicate the hurt she was experiencing. Lastly, some children withdraw and show signs of feeling inadequate when they do not feel appreciated or supported. These feelings can lead them to pull away from schoolwork and social activities because they believe they are not enough. Janell's increasing distance from her classes suggested that she was facing deep emotional challenges, likely linked to her life outside of school. A few years before Janell's disappearance, her mother, Tanya, formed a connection with Leon Tripp, who was incarcerated at the time. Leon was serving time due to a series of past legal matters involving family-related and personal conduct issues. Despite his circumstances, Tanya and Leon began exchanging letters, and over time, their bond grew stronger. Eventually, they decided to marry while he was still serving his sentence. When Leon was released on parole in 2015, he moved into Tanya's home in Augusta, Georgia. 𝐂𝐫𝐜𝐜, Leon's former spouse, later shared a public message in response to growing community concern. She offered insight into her past with Leon and described her efforts to make Tanya aware of his background. "We were married between 2003 and 2009, and I first met him in 2000. We have 2 daughters, his only children. Tanya met him while he was in prison, and I tried to share everything I knew about his past and actions. I experienced unwanted contact during his time away up through 2013. Most of what you might find online stems from those years of our relationship." She continued, "I reached out to the parole board, hoping to prevent his early release, but my concerns were not taken into account. I've done what I could to support Lee when possible, but my main focus is on locating LaTania. After spending a decade with him, I felt it necessary to speak once and only once. I'm not active on Facebook, largely to protect my children's well-being and peace of mind. They've been through enough, and I want to give them a chance at a calm and stable life." On the day Janell turned 16, her mother contacted emergency services to report that her daughter and husband had not returned home after leaving during the early hours of the morning. They had reportedly gone out around 1 a.m., and by the afternoon there was still no word from either of them. During the call, her mother shared her concerns with the dispatcher. Tanya on the call, "They left around 1 a.m., and I haven't heard anything since." Dispatcher, "Neither of them?" Tanya, replying, "No, nothing at all." Her mother appeared to be worried about not hearing from them. When she spoke with the officers, she explained that her husband had gotten a call about a friend who was having car trouble. The location mentioned was Clarks Hill, South Carolina, roughly half an hour from Augusta. Tanya said, "He told me he didn't want to bother me, so he asked our daughter to ride with him. He said someone named Maurice was stranded and they were heading out to help." Janell's mother explained that Leon needed help with directions that night. He reportedly took Janell's phone because his didn't have navigation features, and he wasn't familiar with how to use GPS applications. She shared that Janell went along to assist him with finding a location. Her uncle, Charles Carwell, found the timing and circumstances deeply unsettling. In his words, it was hard to accept that her disappearance happened on such a meaningful day, her 16th birthday. "It doesn't sit right with me," he said gently, "how she left the house and what followed afterward. It just feels like something wasn't spontaneous." Despite the confusion and concern, he remained hopeful. "I believe she wants to reach out, but maybe she can't right now. If she could, she would have found a way to contact someone close. Her mom, me, or another family member."
2 weeks after Janell's disappearance, her mother Tanya, alongside Pastor Angela C. Harden, appeared on Facebook Live to raise awareness and help organize a reward fund for any information that could assist in finding Janell. Tanya addressed the public with sincerity, expressing her gratitude to those who continued to show concern. She explained that the reason she didn't accompany Leon and Janell that night was due to a health issue she was facing at the time. Through the broadcast, both Tanya and Pastor Angela encouraged viewers to share any helpful information, holding on to the hope that someone, somewhere, might offer a lead that would bring clarity and peace. During a live stream, Tanya opened up about her medical condition and the events of that night. "I have brain cancer and lung cancer," she said calmly. "There was a lot of smoke in the air, and I started having trouble breathing. My husband told me to go inside and get some rest, so I listened and laid down. But by 3, 4, 5, even 6 in the evening, I was calling and texting. Still no response from either of them." Her words were filled with concern, but some parts of her account seemed unclear to many who were listening. A quiet question began to surface. Why would a young girl be allowed to go out during the night to help with something that sounded more appropriate for an adult? In her video, Tanya spoke of going inside to rest, which appeared to describe what happened on Sunday the 16th. Yet later in the same recording, she mentioned trying to reach out by phone between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., despite previously telling the police that they had left home after midnight. She had also shared in interviews that she had spoken to them while they were on their way back. This created uncertainty about when she realized they were missing. In a situation where a mother doesn't hear from her daughter or husband for several hours, especially after a late-night outing, one might expect a call to the authorities earlier in the day. These conflicting details, though perhaps shaped by stress or illness, left many with unanswered questions. On April 26, 2017, a white GMC Sierra pickup belonging to Leon was discovered, parked alongside a road not far from their residence on Old McDuffie Road, just under a mile away. Investigators carefully examined the vehicle, looking for anything that might offer clues. Officer Richard Roundtree of the Richmond County Sheriff's Office shared that they conducted a full forensic review to check for any potential evidence, whether it be DNA, physical traces, or any indication of unusual activity. "We carried out a thorough inspection," he explained, "and we did recover items that were helpful to the case." Authorities carried on with their investigation by tracking cell phone data to better understand the events of that evening. Sheriff Roundtree explained that, based on the analysis of tower activity, the locations traced did not support Leon's earlier explanation of being in the Clarks Hill area. This raised questions about the accuracy of the story provided to law enforcement. Additionally, journalist Renata DeBose reported that she had spoken directly with the lead investigator, who confirmed that no record existed of a call for help from the individual Leon mentioned. The friend named in the story, Maurice, had not reached out for assistance, according to the available phone records. Before her disappearance, Janell had been known for her regular and lively activity on social media. She often posted updates, photos, and messages throughout the day, staying connected with friends and family. However, after the night of the 16th, all signs of online presence came to a sudden stop. The absence of her usual digital footprint was noticed immediately by those who knew her well, adding to the growing concerns surrounding her whereabouts. Weeks after the truck had been found near the family's home, new information began surfacing from Atlanta. Community members in the area started reporting possible sightings of Leon at local stores. Some said they observed him running errands, while others noted he appeared to be traveling between Augusta and Atlanta more than once during that period. These tips were taken seriously and helped direct the next steps in the investigation. Sheriff Roundtree confirmed that Leon had indeed been seen in Atlanta without Janell by his side. He explained that Leon had connections in the area, which may have made it easier for him to remain unnoticed for a time. "We have reason to believe he made multiple trips while the search was still active," Roundtree said. These movements continued to puzzle investigators and the public, as the whereabouts of Janell remained unknown.
During this uncertain time, members of the community showed deep care and commitment. People gathered for candlelight vigils, shared flyers, and participated in organized searches, hoping to bring attention to the case and support the family. Their collective efforts reflected a shared wish to find Janell safe and to bring answers to those still waiting. Ray Montana, a respected leader with CSRA Street Justice, a group made up of 200 to 300 dedicated volunteers working to reduce crime and support vulnerable people in Georgia, was actively involved in the search for Janell. He appeared regularly on Facebook Live to update the community and organize search parties. Despite the strong commitment of volunteers, the intense heat, often soaring above 100 degrees, created serious challenges. Ray shared how several volunteers had to stop participating, with some even requiring medical care, including one woman who needed a spinal tap because of dehydration. At the same time, Tanya, Janell's mother, kept engaging with the media to raise awareness and find answers about her daughter's disappearance. However, her recounting of the events from the night Janell went missing changed multiple times, leading to confusion and speculation among those following the case. Rumors began circulating, with one difficult claim suggesting a relationship between Leon and Janell that raised many questions and concerns within the community. When confronted about these allegations, Tanya responded firmly and emotionally. She rejected the idea completely, expressing disbelief and frustration. Tanya made it clear she found the suggestion unfounded and hurtful, emphasizing that such a notion did not reflect her understanding of her family or what had occurred. Her strong reaction showed how deeply painful these rumors were to her. On May 1, 2017, authorities issued an arrest warrant for Leon, accusing him of kidnapping. Despite the serious charges, Tanya remained firm in her belief that her husband was not responsible for their daughter's disappearance. Kelly Wiley, a reporter who had several in-depth conversations with Tanya, observed, "She showed a real concern for Janelle. When I asked if she thought Leon had taken her, Tanya became very defensive. He even spoke publicly, challenging the sheriff's office and insisting the accusations were false. She said, 'This is the man they love. He wouldn't hurt them.'" About 3 weeks after reports placed Leon in Atlanta, police stepped up their search and finally found him at a U-Haul storage facility there. Unexpectedly, Tanya was with him. She explained that she had traveled to Atlanta to look for Janelle and that by chance she spotted Leon on the side of the road and offered him a ride. Leon then stated he had actually gone to Atlanta with Janelle that night, gave her money to take a bus back to Augusta, and had not seen her since. These statements raised many questions and doubts. Eventually, both Leon and Tanya were arrested. Tanya faced charges for interfering with law enforcement efforts to find her daughter. The situation left the community and investigators grappling with uncertainty and hope, reflecting the complex emotions involved in this ongoing case. Not long after Tanya was taken into custody, law enforcement uncovered new developments. They found out she had kept in touch with Leon and had quietly moved to Atlanta. The two were living together in an unoccupied building, just a short distance from where Leon had previously been spotted near a local store. By the 8th week of the investigation, the nature of the case had changed entirely. Authorities confirmed it was now being treated as a homicide. In a court appearance, District Attorney Natalie Payne stated that Leon had acknowledged Janelle was no longer alive. Still, Tanya remained firm in telling a different version of events, holding on to her previous claims. Sheriff Roundtree later voiced serious concerns about Tanya's honesty. He believed she knew all along that Janelle wouldn't be found in the locations she had pointed out. He also revealed that Tanya had made up her illness. "She shared a story that felt very real to many," he explained. "People stepped up to support her, but it took time to uncover the full truth hidden beneath all of that." This revelation left the community shaken.
On March 23, 2018, the year-long search for Janell Carwell came to a heartbreaking end. The breakthrough came when a local resident, while surveying the yard of a vacant home in Augusta, Georgia, came across something unusual. In the backyard, partly visible from the soil, was what appeared to be a button. With deep concern, the homeowner immediately contacted authorities, who responded to the scene and began a careful investigation of the site. Soon after, local media confirmed the findings. Remains discovered in a grave off Golden Camp Road have been identified as those of LaTania Janell Carwell. The headlines read, "This discovery not only brought sorrow, but also brought some long-awaited answers to a community that had been hoping for Janelle's safe return." The identification was made through dental records, as Janelle had recently seen a dentist before her disappearance. Court documents from the grand jury gave limited insight into Janelle's final moments, noting that the events involved Leon and certain unknown objects. Although the exact circumstances remained unclear, it was mentioned that serious harm had occurred and that Janelle's hands and feet had been restrained. The wording left many questions unanswered, but also reflected the seriousness of the situation, without revealing too many sensitive details. As the investigation progressed, both Leon and Tanya were officially held accountable for their involvement in Janelle's tragic disappearance. When asked why certain parts of the case were still being kept from public view, neither Leon nor Tanya provided a formal plea as legal proceedings advance. Prosecutors, meanwhile, continued developing their arguments. The district attorney made it clear that her office would seek the maximum legal consequence in Leon's case. She also revealed a belief that Janelle's parents had reached out to someone else with the intention of causing harm to their daughter. Legal filings stated that the state planned to demonstrate that Tanya and Leon had reached out to others on 3 separate occasions, first in 2015 and then twice more in 2016, seeking assistance in what the documents described as a harmful plan. Leon's legal representatives announced that they would dispute the punishment being sought, and they requested that media presence be restricted in court to protect the fairness of the trial and reduce external influence. Ray Montana, who remained closely connected to the case from the start, said he believed there may have been an attempt to involve others, but regardless, the evidence continued to center around the parents. He expressed strong feelings, sharing his hope that justice would be served fully and fairly through the legal system. He also recounted a moment during community-led search efforts when they tried to examine an area near where Janell's remains were later found. According to Ray, someone staying on the property asked them to leave. Ray responded by explaining that the property owner had allowed the search. Still, the man insisted they step away, and the team respected the request. The day following his interaction, Ray went to the Richmond County Sheriff's Department and shared what he had seen. He described the man he encountered, his interaction at the property, and his strong feeling that the area might still hold answers about Janell's whereabouts. As the legal journey unfolded, defense attorneys submitted a series of motions. Each one met with a response from the district attorney. These filings and counter-arguments resulted in ongoing delays for the court proceedings. Additionally, the defense pushed to have certain pieces of evidence, such as GPS data and recorded interviews with family, excluded from the trial. At the same time, the district attorney introduced a meaningful project aimed at helping future families while honoring Janell's memory. A new K-9 unit was proposed to serve in Richmond, Columbia, and Burke counties. The specially trained dog, a mix of German Shepherd and Malinois, was named Dora. Plans were shared to incorporate Janell's name into the initiative to keep her memory alive in a way that brings comfort and purpose. Though many of the case's details have remained confidential due to legal guidelines, the process experienced further delays because of public health concerns. During this time, a deeply personal loss touched the Carwell family. Janell's uncle, Charles Carwell, passed away before a verdict could be reached and answers could be provided. Charles Carwell's passing was marked in an obituary dated August 17, 2019. While no official connection was made between his passing and the emotional strain surrounding the case, the challenges faced by the family may have played a quiet role in his health during that difficult chapter.
In October 2021, the responsibility for Leon's case was passed to Chief Judge Daniel J. Craig. He dedicated an entire day to review many pending motions related to the case. However, Leon's current legal team, his third set of attorneys, was not fully prepared. The lead attorney, Adam Levin, shared that he had only been given access to the case files 2 days prior to the hearing. Despite this, he reassured the court that the delay was not intended as a strategy to postpone the proceedings. A follow-up hearing was scheduled for December 14, 2021, at which point Judge Craig was expected to set a firm trial date. Because the case remains recent and complex, many details are still unclear to both the public and those closely following the matter. This ongoing uncertainty has left many people seeking answers and clarity. Across various online platforms, people have expressed a range of theories and feelings about what might have led to Janell's tragic fate. Some speculate about deep family conflicts, while others suggest possible motives, such as jealousy or other personal struggles. It is important to note, however, that these ideas are unproven and remain as personal opinions rather than confirmed facts. Despite the difficult circumstances, Janell's memory continues to hold a special place within the community. Several online users have shared that local groups still hold remembrance events in her honor. Additionally, a family member mentioned that the impact of her passing continues to resonate deeply, with loved ones still healing from the loss of someone so young. Throughout this difficult journey, the community has stood united in support of Janell, embracing her as one of their own. It's important that her life is remembered with respect and care, and that we continue to honor young lives like hers who faced unimaginable challenges. According to her obituary, Janell is lovingly remembered by many family members, including her sister LaTania Janell Carwell, as well as her grandfather, aunts, uncles, and cousins. They keep her memory alive, holding on to the warmth and love she brought into their lives. The entire situation feels heartbreaking, especially because so many questions remain unanswered. What do you think truly motivated the parents' actions? And now that the trial has faced many delays, what impact might this have on the outcome of the case? We invite you to share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Like this video if you found it meaningful, and subscribe to stay connected with our channel. Until we meet again, take care.